newcomer Jim Rockford. There was no doubt about it. He ran right into the receiver, never once looked for the football.
Oh, they ran a pass pattern that I've been waiting to see them run all day. They faked the quick screen to Baker, and all of a sudden he stopped, and then he took off. The newcomer was so sucked in.
Forward pass interference. Hamilton, number 26. It's first down on the 1.
Well, there you hear the obvious call by Bobby Bryant, but they really fished in the new corner, Jim Rockford, and he had no chance. He had to make the interference. There's no question about this. Call it screening, call it whatever you want. It's called interference.
And it also puts the ball at the 1-yard line. And all of this happens with 3:15 left to play in the third quarter. Watts in for the touchdown, his second of the ball game. Well, I don't think there's any question that the Hamilton fans, the Hamilton team, and its coaching staff is shocked by the performance of the Argos here today.
Good job by that offensive line. Dan Ferroni, he's the all-star. Why not follow him? Easy ride into the end zone, but the big interference call on Jim Rockford that set up that 1-yard touchdown run.
Lance Chomick hasn't missed all year and doesn't miss now as the Argos increase their lead to 10 points. Well, it's been a really good performance by that offensive line. We've stressed that this afternoon, and there's not a doubt in my mind that Michigan State graduate Mark Napolitan, who joined the club just about 10 days ago to take over the offensive center spot when Willie Thomas went down, they have done a great job in blocking what is really a ferocious defensive unit of the Hamilton Ticats.
You're talking about a group, you know, Chris Schultz has had experience with the Dallas Cowboys for 3 years. Dan Ferroni's been around 6. Dave Kurtzener has been around for 9 years. Kelvin Prunster, this is his 3rd year. I mean, these guys are pretty good. Look at the size of Chris Schultz there, number 64. I mean, he's as big as a house. He's a high-rise.
There are other factors, too. The turnovers that Toronto have made. 4 turnovers by Hamilton, only 1 by the Argos, and penalties. 8 penalties by the Ticats for 80 yards, 2 for 23 by the Argos.
That's funny. Hamilton comes in as the least penalized team, too.
Howard Fields from the 23. And Fields again does a great job in getting out over the 45 to the 48. Warren Hudson, number 37, along with Marlon Jones, 90, down to make the stop, and Mike Kerrigan comes back in at quarterback.
I think this is a good move. You know, except for a few throws in the first half that he shouldn't have made, Mike Kerrigan had the team moving. You know, he had that 100-yard beautiful drive that Tony Champion scored the touchdown on. Kenny Hobart, he struggled. He had a couple of passes dropped on him early, and I think that affected him.
We've got Champion and DiPietro to one side, Lee and Stapler to the other as Kerrigan drops straight back. Looks, throws over the middle to Lee. A pass was a little bit high, and he couldn't bring it down. Boy, Howland's dropped a lot of footballs today, too, though.
Well, you know, I think it all started when they had Howard Fields had that long kickoff return, you'll recall, late in the second quarter. They got down to 1st and goal from the 11. They ran a reverse to Tony Champion, and they lost yardage. Ever since that, it's been downhill.
2nd and 10, Ticats at their 48. 2:25 left in the third quarter. Kerrigan throws. That's complete to DiPietro. There's a penalty marker down on the field. DiPietro got the ball to the Toronto 43. Now let's wait and see what the marker indicates. Holding
62
against Hamilton. John Malinowski, the right tackle, number 62, is called for holding.
Well, there you see him at the right side of your screen. Now they run a stunt, and he has to pick up Mark Seal coming to the outside. Let it run, let it run. Oh, there's no question about that. And he didn't need to grab the jersey there. The ball was going to be thrown, no problem.
Ball is pushed back now to the Hamilton 38-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 20.
Well, you take away the gain by Rocky and the 10-yard penalty, they lost about 40 yards of offense right there.
Triple receivers to the left side of the formation, and that's where Kerrigan is looking and throws, but too far ahead of DiPietro. But now we've got another penalty marker down, and this one could be a holding call against the Argos in their defensive secondary.
Holding, Toronto number 15. Second down repeater.
That's Cliff Hewitt called for holding.
Well, you're going to have a chance to look at it. Tony Champion's trying to work his way downfield, and you can give him a bump. That's okay, but don't hang on to him like that. You know, that's dumb. You got 2nd and 20. Make the guys earn it. Don't give them the free one. Well, actually, it's still 2nd down. They only get 10 yards on defensive holding, but, you know, you got to make the offensive team work for it.
Ball is at the Hamilton 48-yard line. Argos lead by 10. That one again was very nearly picked off. Carl Braisley stepped in front of Rocky DiPietro. So too did Don Moan. And it may have been the collision between Braisley and Moan that allowed that ball to fall to the turf.
Well, of course, that's the illusion sometimes of the zone coverage. What appears to be an opening can close off in a hurry as the two defenders squeeze off that lane, Carl Braisley and Don Moan.
So again, Steve Stapler is punting.
Well, I'm surprised they haven't gone after him today, Pat. He's painfully slow getting rid of that football. And Toronto's been more concerned with setting up the returns.
He gets them high, but they're seldom very deep. And Braisley does fumble it, but fumbles it out of bounds at the 30-yard line. So that's where the Argos are going to take over with 1:20 left to play in this third quarter. Just want to remind you that 1 week from today, it'll be the British Columbia Lions against either the Edmonton Eskimos or the Calgary Stampeders at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time on the full CTV network. And Conrad Holloway has come in to quarterback the Toronto Argonauts. Give us to Cedric Minter, and Minter gets a couple of yards. Wrapped up by Mike Walker, the defensive tackle, number 61.
Conrad Holloway, as you people are well aware, has not played lately for the Argonauts. Comes into this game 55% completion percentage on the year. 15 interceptions and only 14 touchdown passes. That's really been the problem area this year. He's usually only about 4 or 5 interceptions for the year.
He was going deep looking for Chris Woods, but it's picked up. Lance Shields gives Hamilton possession at the 42-yard line. The pass was well overthrown, intended for Chris Woods. Shields got back to pick it off.
Well, the Ticats needed something good to happen to them to try and turn things around. They trail by 10 points. They need a bit of a break. They may have got it here with Lance Shields. The ball just simply well overthrown Chris Woods. Shields turns into a wide receiver himself, makes the interception, but now the offense has got to get something going.
Carney was in that play because J.C. Watts is hurt. He has re-injured the thumb of his throwing hand. Happened a couple of weeks ago against Ottawa.
Kerrigan's pass intended for Tony Champion is incomplete as Champion slipped down. Kerry Parker was providing the defensive coverage.
Well, you know things aren't going your way when you throw a good strike out there and at the last second your receiver falls down.
Well, you know what, too, gentlemen? There's a fine drizzle falling now, too. The field's starting to get a little slick.
This will be the final play of the third quarter. Kerrigan dumps it off to Zachary. Zachary fumbles the football, but it'll be Hamilton possession, I believe. He'll come up about 2 yards short of the first down, but boy, does that guy run hard. He appeared to be stopped about the 49-yard line, and he gets it out to the 52. Hamilton will have possession, and they'll have a decision to make when we come back. It is Toronto 24, Hamilton 14 as the third quarter comes to an end. We'll return with the fourth quarter in a moment. On third down, the Ticats don't gamble. Stapler's punt is handled by Brazeley, and a no-yards penalty marker comes down. Brazeley fumbled the ball, but it really is immaterial because the no-yards penalty flag was already down.
No yards, 39 Hamilton, up 15, first down.
That's Ed Gedavekis called for no yards.
Just before we went to commercial, Hamilton was really arguing that maybe this fumble should have given them a first down. But watch, Willie Pless knocks the ball loose, and actually I think maybe he was the last guy to touch it before it went out of bounds. So, you know, you argue you should have had a first down. They kind of dodged a bullet not losing the ball.
But Argos right now, after that penalty, have possession at their own 45-yard line. Andrej Holloway is at quarterback. He throws that center screen looking for Cedric Minter, but the pass goes incomplete. You know, in punting today, Hank Olisic has averaged 45.2, Stapler 31.8. So you can see a lot of yardage made up there as you look at the three-quarter statistical story, and the turnover picture still is a very big one, 4-2. Hamilton has coughed up the ball 4 times. But then when you take a 14-yard difference every time you punt the football, that makes a lot of yardage too. Holloway throws to Minter. He gets to the 50-yard line, and that's about all for a pickup of 5. Leo Ezrins is there to make the tackle. The ball came loose, but it was after Minter had hit the ground and the play was dead.
Pat, you were talking earlier about Toronto's offensive line. Cedric Minter really agrees with you. He says he's only been here a month, but this is by far the best game the line has played in front of him. And he agrees it's the center that's making a big difference.
Well, a lot of times your center's the guy in blitzing situations that has to make the calls. And Mark Napolitan has the experience.
Olisic's punt is chased down by Paul Bennett at the 17-yard line. And then he gets to about the 20 or 21. That's about it. So for the umpteenth time today, the Ticats start in a hole as Don Moen was down to make the tackle. A 43-yard punt and only a 3-yard return. Watch Don Moen, 36.
Now, he's a guy that gives you the old 100%er every time he puts the helmet on.
Boy, he had a good year. 94 tackles, 4 sacks for Don Moen, the graduate of the UBC Thunderbirds. First down, Ticats. The ball is just outside their 20. They trail by 10 points here early in the fourth quarter. Pass is caught by Stapler, and he has the first down at about the 37. Daryl Moyer, 24, and Kerry Parker, 17, combine on the tackle after the 15-yard gain.
And I think if I was Mike Kerrigan, that's the area that I would concentrate on here in the fourth quarter. Kerry Parker, because that's where they've had their success in all the games this year. Carl Brazeley, he's a pretty tough guy. Kerry Parker's the guy I want to pick on.
Kerrigan swings it out to the back, Zachary. And Cliff Hewitt drags him down at about the 42. He'll have a pickup of about 6 yards. But again, you know, that's not a bad gain on first down.
No, I think it's a great gain, and you get a good matchup. Ken Zachary, who's 230, working against Cliff Hewitt, who I suspect is about 185, 190. That's the kind of matchup you like in the open field. We've got such a big field to work with, and give it to Ken Zachary. Let him run with it.
Second down, about 4 yards to go. Hamilton, the ball is at their 42-yard line. Well, the pass was intended for Tony Champion, was just a little bit behind him. Kerry Parker was on the defensive coverage, and because the ball was behind him, as he reached back for it, his feet went out from under him. So Chris Woods, 85, is back out onto the field, and let's see if the Argos take a run at Stapler this time. No, Brazeley is going to back off now and come as a meaty type punt returner. He's about 12 yards in front of Chris Woods. And this one is a line drive. Bracely takes it over his shoulder at the 28. And ends up losing yardage back to the 25-yard line. Toronto 24, Hamilton 14, 11 minutes, 40 seconds left to play in the fourth quarter. We'll be back in a moment. Grey Cup Festival have really done things up well out there again. The kickoff party takes place Wednesday, November the 26th at the Plaza of Nations, which is on the Expo 86 site. And all those things are going to be going on. The annual Grey Cup dinner should be a hoot, because Rich Little will be there as the main entertainer. The Miss Grey Cup pageant dance takes place on Friday. Board of Trade breakfast on Thursday. A whole lot of things to do if you're going out to Vancouver. And of course, we'll capsulize all those things for you on our pregame show, Grey Cup Day, here on CTV. Argos begin from their 26-yard line. Give us to Cedric Minter. And Minter gets to the 31. He'll have a pickup of 5.
Now you start to think about the repercussions from the first game of a 2-game total point. Now there's a little more than 11 minutes remaining, and what a psychological advantage it would be for the Argonauts if they could have a lead going back into their park for the second game. And I'm sure that's what Bob Obilovich is thinking about right now.
Yeah, he'd love to have a 17-point lead rather than a 10. He'd like any kind of a lead, you're right. But he knows right now that they have a shot to pick up some more points here. It would appear that Chris Woods does have the first down, and in fact they move the yardsticks now.
Well, of course, we've mentioned that Toronto did win 2 out of 3 games in their series this year, and those 2 wins did come at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. So if they can sneak one out here, they'd have to really feel good about their chances. Now Big Ben, 9 years from Georgia, and boy, it's tough trying to make tackles when you're being held. Kelvin Prunster's got a horse collar on him.
The injured Argonaut is Warren Hudson, the fullback, which means that we'll see Bob Bronk in the lineup, number 34.
It really appears as though Warren Hudson has been the guy that they're counting on to play fullback. Bob Bronk, known so much as a good blocker in his career from Queens, has kind of lost his starting job to Warren Hudson.
So the Argos pick up the first down on the pass reception, and they have it at the 38-yard line. Chris Woods, number 85. They have not gone deep to him today, which is amazing because he does have that blazing speed. The only time they tried to, the pass was intercepted by Lance Shields. This time they're going deep, looking for Paul Pearson. There's a penalty marker back in the Argo backfield, which would indicate holding by somebody in the offense.
Holding, 69 Toronto.
Dan Ferroni, number 69, is called for holding.
Well, he's the right of your screen, and it's kind of tough to see what happens there. Rod Skillman's trying to get away from him, but once you get the hands up on the shoulders of those defensive linemen, the officials are going to call it.
The Ticats pushed them back inside their 30 at about the 28.5-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 20 with 10 minutes and 15 seconds left to play. There will not be overtime in the event of a tie because this is a total point series. Holloway looking for Chris Woods, and he's got him deep at the 50-yard line. Well, that's what we talked about, that they hadn't gone deep to him. He certainly got Shields, and Howard Fields turned around. A 33-yard pickup by Chris Woods.
Well, you could see it coming. Connie put all the receivers to the wide side of the field. He had Chris Woods one-on-one with Lance Shields, and that's the area he chose to try and exploit. He ran a post corner, watch that. Turns Lance Shields right around, and pretty good throw. 33 yards later, that's a big play, because, you know, you got 2nd and 20. That's tough to convert.
Well, this just doesn't look like the same Argonaut offensive line because they're playing so well today, and there are so many changes in it. I mean, the quarterback is getting nothing but time today, and all season long he didn't get anything. Warren Hudson is back into the ball game. He was the carrier, and he's wrapped up by Ben Zambiazzi virtually at the line of scrimmage. Mitchell Price, number 65, was there to help out.
It must be a scary thing when you're a guy like Lance Shields and you're out on the corner, you're out on that island by yourself, and you know you're 1-on-1 with a big big bit of green area to work with out there with Chris Woods, and it's got to be scary.
I would think you're absolutely right. As Dwight Edwards comes into the ball game in place of Paul Pearson. The difference there is that Edwards had such blazing speed. The pass to Darrell Smith is caught, and he has the first down. It was a saving tackle by Howard Fields. Fields doesn't make the tackle. I can guarantee you that Darrell Smith is in the end zone. That's another area that Toronto has really improved, their overall team speed.
Now, Conrad Holloway reads the blitz perfectly. Paul Bennett, number 27, was cheating up. He was coming. That means you got man-to-man. You throw it quick, and he got a quick post into Darrell Smith. That's experience by Conrad Holloway reading that defense. 17
yards the gain. First down, Toronto at the Hamilton 32. The toss goes to Minter. Nowhere to go. The corner was shut down neatly by Mark Streeter, number 20.
You know, it's kind of nice to see Conrad Holloway get a little time to throw. He just got sandbagged all year long playing quarterback for the Argonauts. Today he's had a little more protection, and he's been able to complete some passes.
Look at the size of that offensive line, though. Now, the way it stands right now, they average 6'5", 260 pounds. It's second down, about 12 yards to go. Minter lost a couple. This one is picked off by Fields. It went right through Cedric Minter's hands, and Fields picked it off.
Well, Conrad Holloway initially wanted to go to Keith Baker deep. They zoned him up to the short side of the field. No way he could throw it there. You see him looking for Baker. Can't throw it there. He looks back and tipped ball, and Howard Fields has an interception. Another break for the Ticats.
7:47 left to play in the fourth quarter. Toronto 24, Hamilton 14. We'll be back in a moment. Well, let's look at six-year veteran Howard Fields, who picks off that Conrad Holloway pass that Cedric Minter should have caught. But, you know, these guys are ball hawks anyway. Mark Streeter had 9 interceptions this year. Fields had 6. Lance Shields had 8. Les Brown, who's out of the lineup, also had 8. So interceptions are not new to the Hamilton Ticat defense. First down from their 33. Kerrigan wants to go deep. The champion, it's out of bounds. He made the catch, but he was 5 yards out of bounds. Kerry Parker had good coverage on him.
Of course, Kerry Parker said this week, he said, I'm going to give Tony Champion a little more room. I was too aggressive the last time I played him. That time Champion tried to run an out and up, a deception kind of play, and Parker had no part of it, didn't bite on that out. No way they were going to complete that. Had he been in the field of play, Kerry Parker would have knocked it down for sure.
Argos averaged 23 points a game this year, Hamilton 22. So Argos are just a point over what they normally average, and Hamilton is a touchdown under. Kerrigan's pass was very nearly picked off. It was deflected by Don Moan.
You know, I talked earlier about the Hamilton linebacking crew and their mobility. The Argos have that as well. Don Moan, David Marshall, Willie Pless, they all get good drops, and watch the reaction. Once the ball's in the air, now Don Moan breaks on it. Gets the hand up, knocks it away.
Paul Osbaldiston in the kick for the Ticats. This one bounces to Chris Rogers at the Toronto 38. Chris Woods, excuse me, with a fine return for the Argos, and they'll have the ball in Hamilton territory. Argos lead at 24-14. We'll be back in a moment. The 29-yard punt return by Chris Woods has given Toronto possession in Hamilton territory at the 44-yard line. We've got 6 minutes and 48 seconds left to play in the fourth quarter. Toronto leads it by 10 points. This is really a critical area now for Hamilton. The Argos have to be stopped at all costs from getting into the end zone, because you do not want to go into the other guy's park down by 17 points. That pass could have been picked off too by Leo Ezrins. It was thrown slightly behind Cedric Minter.
Leo broke on the ball just at the right time, intended for Cedric Minter. Of course, Leo was a tight end when he first came up with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He almost had one there. Looks like Dan Ferroni's down, the injured Toronto Argonaut offensive lineman. He's been kind of nicked all game and struggling back to huddle every once in a while.
Condridge Holloway has thrown 8 passes since coming on in relief of J.C. Watts. He's completed 4 for 63 yards, but he's had 2 intercepted. And, of course, a reminder again that next Sunday we'll have the Western Conference Final for you. The BC Lions against either the Edmonton Eskimos or the Calgary Stampeders. Who do you like in that game later this afternoon, Edmonton and Calgary?
Well, I mean, I think you have to take Edmonton. They're at home, and they looked so impressive last week. I know they played Saskatchewan, who are out of everything, but they just looked so solid offensively, defensively. They had the opportunity to play in the cold weather on that lousy field, and I think that's going to be a big advantage for them this afternoon.
Plus the fact that Gary Allen, the number 1 running back in the CFL in 1986, who gained over 1,000 yards, is out of that Calgary attack, and it makes it a lot harder to throw if you never run the football.
Well, it sure does, but if there's one guy that impresses me as a gutsy guy, it's that Rick Johnson, and boy, you know that he'll be giving it everything he can this afternoon. He's got a great receiving core to work with.
Dan Peshnig is in, number 65, in place of the injured Dan Ferroni, number 69. It's 2nd down and 10 as Holloway is in the shotgun formation. Again, Howard Fields made the big play on Paul Pearson. There's a penalty marker down.
Leo Ezrins indicates a legal procedure.
Toronto 64.
Well, that's Chris Schultz, number 64, the left tackle. So Hamilton declines the procedure penalty, and Olisic comes up.
Now, this is interesting now for Hank Olisic. He's 44 yards from the goal line. What do? Do you try and pad that lead, or do you just try and hem Hamilton deep in their own territory?
I'd go for the point myself.
I kind of agree with you right now. Earlier, you know, you went for field position. I'd maybe air it out now, too.
And that's what he does. It's in the end zone. And a penalty marker is down. Marlon Jones, I mean, he looked right at Paul Bennett, and he had to realize he wasn't 5 yards away. Now the decision is Hamilton's. Do they want to give up the single point, or do they want to take the penalty?
Number 90, Toronto.
Well, Obi, I don't blame you. He's shaking his head saying, now just watch this.
Well, Bennett's cagey, you know.
Yeah,
he knows those guys are coming down there, and he waits, and boy, he traps them easily.
But I mean, Marlon has been up here all season now. He knows you've got to give 5 yards.